Hello, my name is Kilian Koepsell. I'm CTO and co-founder of Caption Health, and I will talk about the journey here at Caption Health from our idea and early mission to the release of the product that is now used in many hospitals. So both me and my co-founder, we have a background in AI and computer vision. And back in 2013, when it became clear that these deep learning technologies can solve problems that were not possible to tackle with traditional computer vision, we decided to move here into this field of medical imaging, and more precisely in starting with cardiac imaging. And this is a great problem to address. So, of course, heart disease is the biggest killer in the US and worldwide. And many of those conditions can be treated or prevented when they detected early. And ultrasound is a great modality to detect. Sorry, I got distracted here. Ultrasound is a great modality to detect cardiac conditions. It's very effective and doesn't have any side effects. And so we thought that would be great if deep learning could help to make cardiac ultrasound available to more people. And the problem we were addressing is that there are really big challenges in cardiac ultrasound. So the challenges are, in order to acquire a good cardiac image, so the probe is manipulated manually by user, and you need a lot of training to get good cardiac images. And then once you have the image, of course you need a lot of training to understand what you're looking at and if there are any problematic conditions. And both of these problems, so the guidance and the interpretation of the images, are learning problems, and we thought they would be great to use AI to assist with those problems. These deep learning models have been shown to be very efficient or very performant in tasks that before haven't been able to be solved with any algorithm. And so one example is this rapid object recognition. And so here's an illustration of a deep neural network on the right. And this is the kind of problem where the deep learning models perform very well. And this is a problem that, yeah, as I said, it was really hard to solve with traditional algorithms, but it's very easy to solve for humans. They can just solve it in a couple of 100 milliseconds. And we realized that the problem of ultrasound image recognition, also of guidance, is of similar type, in that once it's very difficult for a novice, but once you are trained to do this, which can take many months or even sometimes many years, then it's really works in an instant. So an expert who looks at an ultrasound image in an instant can recognize where the probe is positioned, where you have to move it, and also what the conditions are that are visible in the image. So we thought that should be a problem that could be tackled with similar network architectures as general object recognition. And so once you have such a problem that wasn't tractable without deep learning and then might be tractable with deep learning, I think this is a great candidate to use this technology. And then it's, however, solving this algorithmic problem, of course, is only the very first step in a long path here to a product that can be used in clinical practice. And here I just listed a bunch of different steps that you have to go through. First, of course, you need data in order to train the neural networks, and then you can do the feasibility study and see if the neural network can solve the problem. And then it's very important early on, of course, to bring in clinical expertise to design a full product so that you're sure that you're addressing a problem properly in the clinical practice. And then once you have a prototype product, of course, that has to be validated in a clinical trial in order to test it on a real world, real patients. And so we tested these algorithms on a multi-center trial and I will talk about more about that later. And then with positive results in the clinical context, you can then submit for FDA clearance. And only after you receive that, it's possible to market and to sell the product. And that, of course, is the first time when you get then real data from the real world. And I think this is in my opinion, is this the biggest issue with developing medical devices, that this path to get to the first real world data that allows you to iterate on the product and improve features is so long. And so this iteration cycle is very long. Once you have more data and improve the algorithm, then of course you have to move through many, if not all of these steps again. So that makes it pretty challenging, but it makes it also very rewarding because you can really affect people's life here with that product. So it's important to address a problem in clinical practice end to end, and so we're addressing all the different challenges on the whole path here to acquire cardiac images. So starting with helping to guide to a proper position to acquire a good image, but then also helping assess the quality of an image and automatically recording it if the quality is right, and then helping with interpretations. I will talk more about the ejection fraction. There's one measurement that we do which quantifies how well the heart is pumping blood. And then in the end also, of course, AI can help with making decisions and diagnostic decisions. So here, as I mentioned, there are two major algorithms. One is the guidance. And so if humans, human experts perform cardiac ultrasound, they look at the image that you can see here, and then based on the image, they can recognize how the probe is positioned and where they have to move the probe to get a better image. And this is essentially what we trained the neural network to do. And so the network can then also, based on the imagery, can basically give you real-time feedback how to get a better image, better positioned probe. And then once you are in the right position, we do automatic quality assessment, and so the images can automatically be recorded, or if you have pre-existing images, you can the quality can be used. Then AI can be used to select the clips with the best quality, and then another neural network can then make automatic assessments, like for example the ejection fraction. So in the current clinical practice, this would be done manually. So you take multiple video clips of different slices through the left ventricle, and then you would manually separate, trace out the ventricle, and then you do this in an expanded and contracted image, and then this way you can compute how much blood is squeezed out with every heart cycle. And so we trained a neural network to do this end to end, and you can see here in these different layers of the neural network, the network picks up different structural pieces of the heart video clip, and then combines those in the last layer from different time frames, and then automatically computes an ejection fraction. So that was the stage here of the algorithm development. And then here is a little video clip, just 30 seconds to show how that works. So if you put the probe on a patient, then a traditional ultrasound device would just show the image, but here the AI will give you real-time feedback, how to move the probe, and quality assessment here on the left, and automatically record the image. And then from those images, so that was a little fast, but from those images then make automatic assessments. So the main point is that now a novice user can essentially acquire and assess an ultrasound image, and that really allows to give many more practitioners the access to this modality. So of course we had to validate this algorithm, and so there's I have to go a little quickly because I'm running late on time, but we validated the guidance algorithm, validated that in the hands of novices, there's in very high percentage of the cases, the acquired images are of diagnostic quality. And so we also validated the ejection fraction algorithm and made sure that the result that the algorithm gives is at the same performance level as the manually acquired ones, as I described earlier. And so with those studies, we submitted the product for FDA clearance. And so one thing that I want to mention is that it's very important to try and contact the FDA early on. So we early on received the breakthrough device designation, which is a great this breakthrough device program is a great program by the FDA that allows you to, in regular cadence, have feedback sessions with the FDA and make sure that the way you develop the device and the way you design the clinical trial addresses the concerns that the FDA has during the approval process. And so early last year, we received emergency use authorization because the algorithm, the device is very useful in the context of COVID, because it allows people who are with the COVID patients in the ICU and in isolation wards to acquire images, and you don't need to bring in outside experts to perform this ultrasound exam. And so we have here published some use cases in the context of COVID. And so there's you probably know there's often cardiac involvement in COVID, and this device allows you to quickly assess what is going on with the heart, and this is very useful in that context. So yeah, I want to end with so that was our first real world use case in the ICU, and then of course from here, using the feedback we get there are multiple places to expand with this product. So one thing of course is in the context of COVID, not only the heart, also the lung is of course very important. And so one direction we are going is to do something similar for lung ultrasound. And this is also very useful in to diagnose other lung diseases like pneumonia or tuberculosis. And so we received a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to develop guidance for lung ultrasound. And another great use case is general cardiac screening, and we're participating here in a project that's funded by the American Heart Association, with the goal to detect rheumatic heart disease, which is a very devastating disease, which when early detected can be very well treated, and that's another use case where this can go. So I will end here with a little summary that in terms of the general areas I'm excited about, what AI can do for healthcare, and in particular medical imaging, is that it can expand the access to certain technologies or modalities, like here this cardiac ultrasound or ultrasound in general, and it can enable clinicians to give them more skills so that they can perform tasks that previously could only be done by very well trained experts. And with the help of this democratization, it can also help to bring care in more decentralized places, so at the point of care, and that hopefully will help with making the care more timely and improve the outcomes and so on. Okay, so I'll end with that, and I think we have a couple of minutes to answer questions as well.